It's a little bit rainy and gloomy out today, so we figured what better way to have fun than another RV upgrade. So today we're going to be replacing the bathroom fan with this 9-inch Vortex II fan. We have a 6-inch fan installed already, it's the stock one, but we wanted one that could pull a little bit more air, get the moist air out quicker, or when it's hotter out, just be able to move more of that hot air out faster. So let's get to it. So you're probably wondering, what am I doing with a paper plate, paper bowl, and a piece of paper? Well, we wanted to do a little test to figure out what's kind of the holding power, or how much air does this stock fan move versus the new Vortex II fan. So we're going to see if any of these can be held by the stock fan, and then see if the Vortex fan can hold it, and kind of which one has a stronger holding power. So we're going to start with a piece of paper. Obviously that held. Now we're going to try paper plate. So my thought process here is it's a much wider surface, so with that fan it's probably going to act like a suction cup and pull it up. That's why we got the bowl, because it's a little less surface area, and I got a feeling this might not hold, but we'll see. So that held, and now we'll try the bowl. So if you get it in the perfect spot, it looks like it might actually hold. But I don't know if you guys can see here, it's wavering quite a bit. Any little tap, it comes right down. And just for giggles, we're going to try out a bandana, and I'm going to hold this up flat with my hand against the screen there, and we'll see if it can actually hold the bandana or if it actually pulls up the edges or not. So it'll grab a corner, but it's not strong enough to hold it in the middle even when I spread it out across the fan. So the next test we're going to do is open up a window that's in the bedroom. We're going to close this door here so that the only airflow that can come is from that window we're about to open. We'll turn the fan on and see if it moves a piece of toilet paper or not. And you can see we also have a bandana. So I'm going to turn the fan on now. Bandana is held away probably about 4 inches or so, so I'm going to hold up this piece of toilet paper. Window's only open about 1 inch. Just want to see if there's much airflow at all, if it has a lot of pulling force or not, and then when we put the Vortex II in, we'll see which one did better, if there's any results, because right now nothing's happening. So why did we choose the Vortex II fan? Pretty much the price point. It was about $100 when we got it originally. We checked about a week later and it actually went on sale. Compared to other fans like the Max Air, I think those might start around $150. Otherwise, to get the whole unit, it's a couple $100. So this seemed like a cheap alternative to get more moisture again out of the camper and to get the hot air out, just so it's cooler, especially for when we're boondocking and we can't power the ACs. Just having a better fan to move more air makes life easier. So yeah, let's get to it and unbox it. So it looks like it comes with a set of instructions. Looks like it's been photocopied about 100 million times, but definitely instructions there. The good part is we're making this video for you, so you don't have to read this. But what do we got here? So it comes with the whole unit that actually mounts up into the recess section where your old fan is. It comes with all of the wiring already. It comes with the knob, as well as a screen. And the great thing about this one is there's forward, which is high, medium, and low, so you got 3 speeds. And it also has reverse, medium, and high. So that way you can actually pull air in to the camper if it's cooler or hotter out and you're hot or cold on the inside. Or another thing that we found interesting was, you know, if we're driving down the road, or you know, maybe we leave the camper for a bit, it's going to be hot out, we can actually open up the vent in our bedroom or the bathroom right here, pull air in, and then use the one in the kitchen to pull the air out so that we get that airflow throughout the camper. But yeah, it looks like it comes with everything that you need other than tools. So it looks like It's a Phillips head, so I think all you need is a screwdriver. So we're going to start by removing the garnish around here. There's 4 screws.
Can I open this up again for more light?
Next up, we're going to remove the screw that holds this knob on. So in order to remove the rest of this plastic section here, you'll see an arm that goes across. So on those ends, you're going to push in. So basically, there's these little tabs up there that go into these holes, and it grabs this whole unit. Just be careful because it is still connected, and you don't want to pull the wire out. So making sure I'm not keeping this too tight, I'm just going to pull these off. So unfortunately, I was hoping for some Wago connectors here where I'd be able to just flip the lever, plug the new cable in, because they have these quick disconnects. Fortunately, that's not what we have. So luckily I do have extra CE5 closed-end connectors like these here. So I went ahead and shut off the DC power since I'm going to be cutting into this, not just unplugging like we did earlier. So I've got the DC power off, I pulled out the fuse, hit my disconnect. We're going to finish taking off this fan, so you're just going to pull down on this pretty firmly. And that just pulls right off. And then there should be 2 screws here to get this motor off. And it's too small, so I have to grab a different screwdriver. So now that I got my small screwdriver, we're going to pop these 2 screws off. And then the motor should come right out. So I'm just going to leave it hanging there for now. We're going to take our wire cutters and we're going to cut both of these since we're going to reconnect this whole, recrimp this whole connection. We're going to do the same over here. Now I should be able to pull this motor out. And next up, we've got this, I don't know what it's called. It's the little spindle to open and close your vent. We're going to check and make sure that on the Vortex that we're going to install, that on the Vortex end it's on the right side, so it's actually adjustable. So we're going to grab that, hold it up, make sure everything aligns, and if not, then on the Vortex we're going to have to move this piece over, but I'll show you guys that in a second. So I've got the Vortex fan up here. This is the underside. And you can see there's 2 positions here. This is basically the spindle that you put your knob on. So on the back side, there's this box here, and we need to make sure that this aligns with the section that's already on your RV. So if we draw a line straight down, we can see it's not actually aligned. That means we need to shift this entire box over to the left. Super easy. It's basically just taking off these 2 screws, shift it over so that this spindle is in this hole, and that should then shift this to the left so that it will be aligned, and then we can continue the install. So we're going to shift that over. Again, we're going to take these 2 screws out. So now we're going to move it over so that this spindle is on the further hole. And just to show you guys, the screws do line up with this one, so don't put the screws back in the original holes. So now that we got it moved over, I just want to make sure it is aligned, and it looks like it is. So before I start connecting wires, I'm going to hold this up there, make sure it is aligned and fits in place, and it does. So now we want to hold this back up there so we can make our connections. I did have to take these wires and tuck them underneath because they were hanging out here and they were in the way when I was trying to install it. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the wires that we had already cut, and we're going to connect these up with the CE5 crimp connectors that you guys saw me take off earlier. I have other ones that we're going to use. So now we've got these wires that we already cut, so we have to strip them back a little bit. So I wanted to show you guys, I need to make sure I had enough stripped off so that when these insert, you want them to go through this crimp connector on the inside. You want to make sure you can see the bare wire come all the way through and that the insulation is not going to get caught within the crimped section. So all of these should be about the same length, which they are. This one looks like you got to take off a little bit more, and this one's good. So this is the wire that I have to take just a little bit more off. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to twist the ends of these just a little bit, keep all the strands together. And then I'm going to get my lovely assistant over here, CeLynn. Because this is definitely easier with two people. To hold this up for me. Grab all of our white wires here. Spin them together just a little bit. Take our crimp connector. Make sure we can see the wires come all the way through the tips so we know that they're inserted fully. And we're going to go ahead and crimp. Do a little tug test. Make sure that they don't pull out. Go ahead and line all of these up. Give them a tiny little spin just to keep them together. Again, insert it all the way. Make sure the insulation is not stuck underneath the crimped section and that the wires are showing up to the top. Again, give a little tug test, make sure it's on there good. There's a little bit of space all around the edge, so I'm actually going to take these and lay them over this side here, so that again, they don't get stuck in the fan, especially as we bounce down the road. So you can see they're kind of pulled down on the side here. So I'm going to line this up. Again, there's this screw hole on this edge and another one on here. That's going to go up into a hole across that cross arm, and then we're going to make sure that this twisting spot up here to open up the vent lines up as well. And then we're going to tuck these wires up out of the way. You guys want, before you get this far along, you might want to, once you get everything crimped back together, and before you get the fan installed, you might want to go turn your power back on, test it, make sure it works, instead of getting this far and finding out it doesn't. So we're going to go ahead and do that test now. Moment of truth. That's what it sounds like on high. It's a little loud. Medium, I would say, is
Quieter.
definitely a lot quieter than the stock fan. Low.
It's really quiet.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty dang quiet. And then they got these little tabs here, slots up there, we'll line it up. Spins counterclockwise, that simple to take it off and clean it and all. So second to last step here is to put this knob on. So we're going to take the screw that they provided, it's the longer one that doesn't have as coarse of threads. So we'll put that through here, line it up. Check, make sure that the knob operates the vent cover, and it does, so that's good news. And then we're going to take the original 4 screws that came out of this, we're going to shove it back up, make sure that the holes align. We're going to tuck the wires behind here. I don't like to use the drill to tighten these down because I don't want to strip them out. So I like to come back through with just a hand screwdriver to tighten them all up. So now that we got that up here, give it a shot. Everything sounds good. So now we'll go do our tests again. I got the paper right here. This is on low. Obviously that's going to take, this is high. So you can see it's definitely got a lot more power. I don't have to just press it up against it, it'll pull it from my hand. I also got the plate. It even pulls that out of my hand, which is more than I expected. Now we'll see the bowl. Yeah. You can push this around and play with it all day. Try out the bandana. I mean, look at that. Bring it down to low. So yeah, it even pulls that in the bowl. So low, I guess, isn't quite as strong, but we'll see about the bandana. So it looks like low isn't quite as strong as the stock fan. Try medium. So you can see it has a little bit of pull. Give the bowl another shot. Yeah, so it'll hold the bowl up. I would say medium's a little bit better than the stock fan setup, and we'll go check out and see how much air it's actually pulling from the outside through the camper. So to keep the test the same, we close the bathroom door, close the bedroom door. So again, it's just the bedroom and the bathroom that we're going to allow air to flow through. We haven't touched the window, haven't touched the bandana. So we'll get a baseline of off to make sure that it's not the wind blowing from the outside. All right, CeLynn, you want to turn it on low? So we're getting a little bit of more movement than we had with stock. You want to put it on medium? Medium, you can see it's moving a little bit more. All right, how about high? So quite a bit more airflow than before. Again, this bandana is being held, I don't know, 5 inches away from the window, and it's still moving quite a bit. So all in all, Vortex II Fan, was it worth the upgrade for just under $100? I'd say yeah. What do you think, CeLynn? Got the thumbs up from the official person behind the camera this time. So thank you guys for checking us out at Wild and Outdoors. We love bringing this type of content to you. If you have any questions about the installation or our thoughts and opinions on it, how easy was it worth it, let us know in the comments. And if there's any other type of content you want to see or other modifications, let us know, because we've done a bunch. So thank you guys for staying tuned. We appreciate your help and your love and your support.